And we have some tragic news to tell you about on this Veterans Day weekend. 5 American service members who were killed in a military helicopter crash that came during the training operations of a special ops team. President Biden mourning their loss while preparing for a high-stakes meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping this week in San Francisco. Lucas Tomlinson, live in Wilmington, Delaware, where the president is spending this weekend at his home there. Hello, Lucas.
Eric, officials say the helicopter that crashed off the coast of Cyprus in the eastern Mediterranean on Saturday was from the U.S. Army's elite 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, known as the Night Stalkers, killing all 5 aboard. And the White House putting out a statement, President Biden saying, quote, "Jill and I mourn the loss of the 5 American service members who died when their aircraft crashed in the Mediterranean Sea during a routine training mission. Our service members put their lives on the line for our country every day. They willingly take risks to keep the American people safe and secure." And as you're watching right there, Eric, of that file footage of showing how dangerous mid-air refueling is at any time, especially when you're dealing with Black Hawk helicopters and at nighttime. Now, on Fox News Sunday, Senator Mark Warner was asked by Shannon Bream if Iran was being deterred by the dozens of attacks on U.S. forces in the Middle East. Here's what Senator Mark Warner had to say.
I think by placing both a carrier group in the Red Sea, Eastern Med, announcing that we've sent an Ohio-class submarine, we never normally announce that, and bombing some of the facilities outside of Iran, I think it's terribly important.
Now, U.S. forces in the Middle East have been attacked nearly 50 times in less than a month. Iran and its proxy forces have continued launching strikes at U.S. bases targeting some of the 2,500 American troops in Iraq and 900 in neighboring Syria. There have been 6 attacks since Wednesday after a pair of U.S. Air Force F-15 Strike Eagles hit that warehouse in eastern Syria used to store weapons the Pentagon says were used to attack Americans in the Middle East. And we're just getting this in, Eric. We're learning from our own Jennifer Griffin there have been 2 more airstrikes from the U.S. Air Force today in eastern Syria. The Wall Street Journal editorial page before that news came out saying that Iran has not been deterred despite the deployment of American firepower in the Middle East, saying, quote, "President Biden's weak responses to attacks on U.S. forces aren't deterring Iran and its proxies, which increases the risk of escalation. The surgical U.S. military strikes in response aren't making Tehran think twice about hitting American troops. And what's the point of military assets if America's enemies don't fear that the U.S. will use them?" Now, here's President Biden's national security advisor earlier about what's next in Israel's war on Hamas.
No reoccupation of Gaza, no forcible displacement of the Palestinian people. Gaza can never be used as a base for terrorism in the future, and Gaza's territory should not be reduced.
And President Biden will be meeting China's President Xi Jinping in San Francisco on Wednesday. Eric?
Lucas, you mentioned those strikes on the Iranian bases in eastern Syria. Any more information on those? Thankfully, no American troops have been killed, but some have suffered from TBIs, traumatic brain injuries, so we have had some of our troops injured.
That's right. Now, the Pentagon says all of those soldiers have been returned to duty. So that's good news there. Although this breaking news about more American airstrikes today in eastern Syria, this would be the 3rd time that U.S. jets have been used to strike back at Iran's proxy forces in eastern Syria. This is largely an ungoverned area in eastern Syria, part of the old ISIS caliphate, if you remember those last few days in Baghouz, where our own Benjamin Hall reported from. So it's largely ungoverned area, and it's where the U.S. military has been striking, not in Iraq, but in Syria. So we'll have to get a battle damage assessment and find out a little bit more about the targets and what was hit.
All hopefully a message aimed at Tehran. Lucas, in Wilmington, Delaware, always good to see you. Lucas, thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.